Welcome back. This is Sealchan, and this is my Minecraft Alpha 1.0 progressive Longplay. Today we're actually going to do another episode related to research. As I play this game, I'm working out my process and how to capture it in a series of episodes in the fullest sense, showing the progress for each block and item that you can use in this game. Each block and item has its place and its role, and I want to make sure that I capture that. It's all part of making meaning when playing the game of Minecraft. Today we'll talk about 3 items which have finished their story in this game. They may continue to appear, but I have completed at least one full cycle. That was an intense cave sound. Anyway, we've completed at least one full cycle with that item, and as such, this episode will celebrate each of those items. Alright, the first item. As we saw in the previous episode, we crafted our first brick. A brick is merely an item. Here it is. I can show it in my personal inventory screen. And I have decided that as such, there really is no further use. But let's talk about the full story. A brick was crafted by smelting a single clay ball. That item was then placed in our research archive for crafted items in the crafting workshop. I did further research. Oh, you know what? Yes, I did further research and discovered the recipes for this item. Oh, now there's music playing. Let's take a break. We'll come right back. You know, the cave sound here at the Builder's Workshop and the zombie sound. I think they tell a story that there's more cavern beneath us than we've yet discovered. Here comes part 2 of the music. Alright, well here's the brick. As we were saying, we crafted one in this round during the research phase. It can be used to create the placeable block bricks. So that block will have its own story. Having researched all the recipes for bricks, the singular brick, I decided there's no use for this other than to build or craft bricks. So, having determined that, the story of this item is over. Once crafted and discovered, its life cycle is short. That's okay. For the next item, or block, let's head to the cavern, or to the mine. Okay, gold ore. Gold ore began its life in this game with its discovery in this mine, which I call Cavern 1, an extensive cavern system which brought us all the way down to the lava lake level, which allowed us to open up a deep mine. Through the course of exploring and mining out the cavern, as well as the deep mine, we accumulated a full stack of gold ore. This freed us to then go ahead and research any recipes that can be created with this block. Of course, I discovered that the gold ingot can be created. And so in the next round, we will continue the story of the gold ingot. Anyway, after that, gold ore, I researched what else it could be used for. And although it is a placeable block, I've decided that for ores, I don't have a specific use for them in crafting. So, in that sense, they're just like the brick. They're merely a part plays a role in crafting something else. So having made that determination, the gold ore will become a new fixture in our smelting workstation here. We will be sure to begin smelting gold ingots as soon as that recipe is officially crafted, and keep a supply of gold ingot. Now, if there's going to be a gold block to go along with that, we'll add it here. It's a little dark in here, I think. And we'll put at least one gold block here if that's the case. If not, then we'll keep a supply here. So that concludes the story of gold ore in this game. Finally, let's look to one more placeable item, or I'm sorry, placeable block. I think I might have it in here. Yes. Okay. Let's talk about reeds. Reeds had a very late game start, owing to the fact that reeds were not discovered until quite late in Minecraft 1.0. They are very infrequent, as we have seen. So once I finally brought home a reed and stored it in my research archive, I was able to research that it was farmable. So we created a reed farm here in the LC district. After creating that reed farm, we grew the farm out to fill the size of the whole farm. And by the time we did that, we found it was easy to collect a full stack of reeds in a single task. So, having collected a full stack of reeds, I did the research. And interestingly, I was surprised, you can craft paper from reeds in this version of Minecraft. So in the next round, we'll do that and start the story of paper in this game. Now, I thought about reeds and what they could be used for, other than for crafting. And I've already come up with 2 ideas, which have already been implemented. That's largely due to my impatience, waiting so long for reeds and knowing what I was going to do with them. One of those uses was to craft a reed lamp that's used to mark off a waterway between the Cascadia landing through the narrow passage over to the Cascadia port on the island. And that was very handy. The other use is just like with the farm. There are places where I want to create a wetland, usually along a creek and definitely by a body of water. And so I will probably continue to do that in this game as we finish building out the trails. But having done that at least once, I have completed the story of the reed as a placeable block. And so, we'll put it away. And that's it. I think this has been a good way to help you all understand part of my process in this game and what playing a full game of Minecraft can mean. You discover something, you secure a way to get more of that thing, you research all its recipes, you come up with what you can do with that item or block. You put that use to work through a build or some other action. And once you're done, you tell the story of that block or item and consider it done. Anyway, I hope this helps to help all my viewers understand what it is I'm doing. And I think at each research phase where I have completed an item or block's story, I should definitely tell that story, just as I did here. We've missed most of those blocks and items, but that's okay. In my next game, I'll have the opportunity to tell all those stories. Zombie. Anyway, that's the end of this episode. I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next. Take care.